Hi, I'm Steve Gallant, and today we're going to talk about Snowflake Multiteach software, which is included with every ClearTouch interactive panel. So included with every panel, Snowflake Multiteach is really going to help bring to life all the capabilities of the ClearTouch interactive panels. Snowflake is really designed around interaction and bringing people up to the board, as well as splitting the screen up into different zones in order to present your information in different ways. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and click the Zones option from the main menu here. And as you can see, I've got lots of different options for configuration. So I can split the screen up into 3 different zones, maybe into 4 different zones. If I split the screen up into 4 zones, you notice on the far right there, that's going to go ahead and set me up for tabletop mode. As you can see in this video, this is going to allow students and teachers to gather around the panel, and it's going to go ahead and orient the menu so everybody on every side of the panel has their content facing them. And this is really going to use that 20 points of touch with multiple people using pinch to zoom and everything on the ClearTouch interactive panel. I even have the option to save my current layout, but we'll go ahead and start to build a layout as we go through. So sticking with the main screen here on Snowflake, I'm going to walk through a couple of the different apps that we have. The first application is going to be Canvas. So Canvas is going to be the main whiteboard on the ClearTouch interactive panels. And as you can see, this is going to be a full-featured interactive whiteboard. I have the ability to create flip charts and go ahead and save all my content, as well as all my annotation tools and math tools and everything built into this. But Canvas is really also going to shine when I start to bring in content into the situation. So as you can see, I'm on the pen tool here, and I get lots of different options for changing my pen style and changing the color. I can also change the width of the pen there. I'm always going to get my multiple points of touch on the board, so this is going to support 20 points of touch both on a Windows environment as well as running on Mac. I also have my gesture recognition, so if I flatten my hand, I can actually call up an eraser without having to switch tools, which is really nice. But lots of different options built into this. So I do have the option for things like a laser pen, so I'm able to highlight something on the screen and then that's just going to flash a few times and then disappear. But I'll walk through a couple of the tools that's built into Canvas. Apart from the eraser gesture, I do also have a dedicated erase button. So with that selected, now I have my dedicated eraser. One of my favorite tools is just going to be the select tool. This is going to allow me to not only select and manipulate objects, which we'll show bringing in just a second, but it also enables me to use my infinite canvas feature. So while I have content on the screen, I can actually push all this content up off the screen. So maybe I'm working on a bullet point list. As I come down the list, I don't have to worry about writing too small. I can grab my select tool and then be able to bump that list up and then continue right down the list. So very useful tool, especially to take advantage of the space on the ClearTouch panel. But moving along, like I said, ClearTouch Canvas is really going to allow you to bring in a lot of content very quickly and very easily. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new page over here in the page tray. And then the first button I'm going to select is going to be the Internet button. So I'm going to select this, and this is going to bring in a live web browser right into my whiteboard space. So I'm just going to go out to a simple search here, and we'll just do a search for dogs. This will just be a Google search, but I can go out to any website with the URL bar down there. But as you can see, now I have my basic web page there, and if I want to, I can actually take and pinch to zoom, and now I can relocate this wherever I need to. So if I want to save it there for later, we'll come back to that in a second. The next button I'm going to press is going to be the Media tab. So the Media tab is going to allow me to bring in all sorts of information, whether it's from my computer or from the internet. So I can search any files that are built right into my computer if I'm looking for pictures, PDFs, videos. But I can also go out here in the internet search bar, and we'll just do a search again for dogs. This is going to allow me to do a Google image search. So this is going to pull all the images from Google Image, and then once I select the one that I want, all I have to do is tap on it, and that's going to import that right into my screen there. And again, I can pinch to zoom, rearrange it however I need to. And then the last feature, as far as bringing in media, I'm going to select the Media tab once again, and then across the top you're going to see the option here for YouTube. So once I select YouTube, this is going to take me out to natively searching YouTube videos right from within the whiteboard. So we'll complete the search here again. We'll do dogs. and now I have all of my YouTube videos that I can select from. So once I find one, I'm just going to select it, and now I have a YouTube video embedded right in my lesson. So I can hit play. So very simple, very easy to use. Again, we'll pinch to zoom and maybe select it up here in the corner. Now that I have all my media in there, of course my pen tool is still going to allow me to annotate on top of any of these, so I can start to engage with those. But at any point in time, I can also make these elements full screen. So I'm going to select that web browser again and hit the full screen option. So now I can bring that front and center, and then when we're done talking about that, I can collapse it back to its different zone. So a very quick and easy way to bring some of that content in. One of the nice features as well, if I start bringing in websites as well as YouTube videos, if I go ahead to the main menu of Canvas here and go ahead and click Save As, I can save it to my local computer. And when I save it, this is also going to remember the website, remember the YouTube video, and all the other content that I've brought into that lesson. So I won't have to go out, and it's basically like a hyperlink on the next level. All right, so I'm going to make a new page here and show a couple more of the tools that are built in. So apart from the pen tools and some of the media tools, if I select the menu down here on the bottom right, I'm going to get a few more options. So this is going to allow me to do a couple things. Some of the math tools are a lot of fun, so I can bring in things like an interactive ruler, an interactive protractor, and then there's a graphing calculator, everything built into this. So this is going to give me that interactivity. I can use the ruler as a straight edge. So now if I want to go through and maybe help graph something or measure anything on the screen, those are going to give me a couple tools. But a few other things that are built in, I can also tie in a webcam. So if I select camera, now this is going to enable, I've got a webcam plugged into the panel. This is going to enable that. This could also be a USB document camera or anything like that as well. So now I have that image that I can pinch to zoom and bring right into my screen if I need to. So lots of different options for bringing in that content, many tools built in. But the best part about using ClearTouch Canvas inside of Snowflake is, again, the idea of splitting the screen up into different zones. So I'm going to come back down here to the zones option, and I'm going to select maybe 3 zones. So once I have this selected, you see my whiteboard is going to go to the left-hand side, and then I'm greeted with 2 more of the main menus there that we can start to interact with. So up here, I'm going to go ahead and launch into the Media tab. And this is going to pull up just a blank viewing window, which is going to allow me to, again, bring some of those PDFs or YouTube videos, but I can even start to group them into projects. So all that media is going to be together in its own folder. And then down here, I'm going to select the Lessons tab. So the Lessons tab is going to allow me to do more interactive lessons. So again, moving away from just a basic whiteboard, I can actually move more into interaction. So having multiple students doing drag and drop activities and interacting with all the different content on there. So I'm going to make this zone full screen to show a little bit of the media tab. Like I said, I can group this into different projects. So I've got a project up here for Native Americans of the Pacific Northwest. I've got a few images here, and what I can do actually is I can grab all of these at the same time and bring these out. So now I have all these different elements. These are all interactive at the same time here, and I can start to pinch to zoom as well as make any of these full screen at any time. So this can be a great way to view different images and be able to organize some of that content. But I'm going to go ahead and leave full screen. So you're going to see that goes back to its corner. So whenever I'm in a split screen environment, I can make any of the zones full screen at any time and then be able to talk about the content a little bit more in detail. And then when I'm done, I can leave full screen, and that's going to go back to its zone there. So the next one I want to talk about here is going to be the interactive lesson builder built right inside of Snowflake. So one of the nice features of this, again, this is going to help me make those matching games, interactive games, and everything that goes along with that. So built right in, there's also an online lesson community. So teachers are able to share and download other teachers' content to be able to search by grade level and by student subject as well. So I can find all the different files that I need. A lot of files are also going to be linked to things like YouTube videos. So I could have the YouTube video open on one side of the screen and then the interactive lesson open there. If I want to go in and actually create my own lesson, there's also a lesson builder built right in. So I'm going to select the green button over here to build my own lesson. And as you can see, I'm greeted with a bunch of different templates to help me get started. So any of these are going to be very simple to use, but we'll just go ahead and build a very simple spinner. So I'm going to select the spinner lesson here. And as you can see, this is going to pull up my basic software development window. So any changes I make on the left side are going to be shown in that viewer in the top right. So for this one, for a basic spinner, I'm going to do the idea of maybe putting my class roster on there to decide who gets to come up to the board. So I'm going to go ahead and start typing in a few students' names. I can also go through and import a CSV file. So if I had all of my students' names built right into an Excel spreadsheet, I can go ahead and import that. So as you can see, that starts to build my content in the top right-hand corner there. I can go through and change the backgrounds and edit any of the pictures or anything like that that I want to add in. So make it as complex or leave it as simple as I need to. Once I'm done, I'm just going to hit play. And as you can see, I've instantly got my spinner there. So we could decide who comes up to the board or however we want to use that spinner. But again, the nice part about this is the entire time we were working in that full screen environment. So I can come back here and click Leave Full Screen, and now my activity is going to go back down to the bottom corner. A really nice feature as well for the interactive lessons is they're also available, the entire lesson builder is going to be available online at lessons.nuitech.com. So as a teacher, I can have my laptop or my tablet and be able to sit at home. I don't have to install all this software on my computer. I just go out to the website and I can create all of my interactive lessons from the comfort of my own home. So as you can see here, I've got kind of my final setup. This could be a great way to present a lesson maybe in a couple different ways. So I can have my whiteboard open here. This could already have my flip chart loaded into it. I can have my media tab, which has a couple of PDFs and maybe images that go along with my lesson. And then maybe down here I've got a matching game or a quiz that's going to act as my final assessment. So I can decide which student comes up to the board. Maybe they have to work through a PDF and find the formula for the problem we're working on, grab the pen tool over here and be able to do some scratch work as we go along. And then once they've done their scratch work, they can solve the final assessment problem there. So lots of possibility, lots of creativity that the teachers can have as far as splitting the screen up into different zones and enabling them to present some of that content in lots of different ways. All right, so I want to show you a couple more of the applications that are built right into Snowflake Multiteach. The first one is going to be the Nodes application. So this is a really fun and creative way to kind of mix up some of your presentations. So Nodes revolves around the idea of dragging out a couple of these different nodes. You can start to give them a title. And then once you've given them a title, you can actually go in and input some of your information. So I can add in text media, I can add in pictures, PDFs, video files, any sorts of thing. And then once I've got all my media arranged, I can actually start to edit some of the connections. So what I mean by that is I can connect all of these together, and then once they're connected, by hitting the plus button, these are going to start to collapse together. So I'm going to go ahead and load one that I've already got made. All right, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and loaded my nodes into this. This is going to allow multiple students to come up to the board. They can grab multiple zones at the same time, but any of these we can also start. I'm going to start with the problem here. And so as I select this, this is going to give me all the content, and you can see as I move this around, it starts to push some of the other nodes out of the way. But I'm going to pinch to zoom to make that a little bit bigger. We can make that image full screen if we need to on there. But as I can see, I've got lots of different text and options in here. So for this one, it's saying there's 3 different possible solutions to this problem of beach erosion down in Florida. So I'm going to grab, once I've read this, I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus button off of here, and now I can see lots of different solutions start to appear. So I could assign this one to a group of students, this one over here, and maybe this one to another group. So multiple kids can start to work through this. I can also import, like I said, all kinds of different content. So I can have video files, all sorts of different things. So this one I think has a video attached to it. So as you can see, very quickly organizing some of that content and the media as we go along. So a lot of teachers will use this as kind of a choose your own adventure activity where I can walk through different options and start to branch off into different categories. So lots of fun. The next one that I want to show you guys as well, I'm going to make this into split screen here. The next one back on the main menu is going to be the option for the built-in browser. So I'm going to launch the browser in this side of the screen. And this is just going to be a very basic browser. It's built on top of the Google Chrome browser. So I have my basic search bar down here. So we'll just go out to a basic website here. So again, very easy to get the browser open on the right-hand side. I can have two browsers open at one time. I could have a whiteboard next to my browser. So lots of different options for different tools and utilities to help you take advantage of the different zones, which is built inside of Snowflake Multiteach on the ClearTouch interactive panel.